Tom Aspinall taking on Ciryl Gane. Let's start with that, okay? A lot of people, my biggest fear happened, right? Tom Aspinall, we talked about before, he had to win this fight. Obviously, for his legacy and for him to, not back up everything, he talked about, but like John Jones, I'll never forget what he said. Here today, gone tomorrow. And the first thing I saw when I woke up was my beautiful wife. But besides that, I looked at John Jones' Instagram and I saw he changed his avatar to a duck with an eye patch. And then you have Alex Pereira sitting there watching the fight, and he sits there and goes, cut, chama. And then everybody piles up on somebody when they're defeated or they're injured or something like that. I didn't like that feeling whatsoever for Tom Aspinall because the man did get impregnated in his eyes with those fingers. But a lot of people got to understand, go ahead, Guru, go ahead and get in there because we have a lot to talk about when it comes just for that specific fight. Just for the hands and how to throw a proper leg kick. This is not how you throw a leg kick, people. When you go to Thailand or you learn, they don't go hands tight and throw like that. If I throw 1,000 kicks on a bag like this, boom, boom, boom. This is called hand exchange. Hand exchange. I throw 1,000 kicks on the bag this day or in a week, 2 weeks. I train 8 weeks. That's 8,000 kicks a week. And all of a sudden, when I get in a fight, I'm self-naturally supposed to go like this. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Go ahead, Guru. Go ahead, cook, baby.
So, I'm distraught. I'm broken. I don't know how to feel about this. But Tom Aspinall, basically, Ciryl Gane went bowling and used Tom Aspinall's face as a bowling ball. All he was missing was a thumb in the mouth. I swear. Yeah. He had 2 fingers up top in each eye, 1 thumb in the mouth, and Ciryl was about to bowl a strike with Tom Aspinall's head. Yep. It was a tough one to watch, but a lot happened aside from the eye poke. Unfortunately, it did end with the eye poke. And that is being seen as some kind of loss for Tom. I think the fact that this went past 2 minutes was always going to be seen as some kind of loss for Tom. So unless it went perfect for him, as it usually does, I think anything will be seen as this was the worst. Oh my God, he did terrible compared to what he normally looks like. This was a bad performance from him because it went 4.5 minutes long into the fight. So therefore, that's how people are going to perceive this. But I think there's some kind of people are doing some kind of victory lap for the loss of Tom Aspinall from him being gouged in his eyes and the fight being called off, when really collectively we should be oh well. Well, let's see what happens next time when we rebook this rematch. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about in this fight because not only was Tom Aspinall eye poked, and it was really bad. And we can talk about the logistics of the eye poke and how that works and how it can be solved. And maybe we'll get into that a bit afterwards. But Ciryl Gane was looking good. Ciryl Gane was looking good. He was looking loose. And I think that's something that he almost focused on here because against Ngannou and John Jones, he got really stiff in the big moment. He almost changed who he was characteristically. Against Ngannou, he wasn't letting things go. He was kind of just watching and scarpering a lot more away from him. And against John Jones, he was very flat-footed almost comparatively. And he threw a big head kick and then lost his back and then got taken down afterwards. Whereas in this fight, he kind of was making a point to shake out his shoulders in front of him and do a lot of this movement to ease the pressure off of him. So he could just start flicking the jab. He almost threw no kicks. And I thought we were having a good tit-for-tat fight. A lot of people see it as Gane was picking Tom apart. But I see it and I think Gane's probably up by a couple strikes here, but this is a tit-for-tat move. I just think when we go into the unknown for Tom, it's seen as a negative. Ciryl Gane's done better than every opponent before. Therefore, he's doing really good against Tom Aspinall. And that's always going to be the narrative. It's like if someone shucked off Khamzat Chimaev's takedowns in round 1.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's doing amazing against Khamzat Chimaev. Even if it could still be a competitive fight compared to any other fight on the roster, people are just going to sort of see the unknown and see the things that we haven't seen before done as way more than they actually are. I thought we were having a tit-for-tat striking match. Gane was doing good. He bloodied up his nose. And then bang, he went bowling for Tom's head. And yeah, that's what it was. What did you think about the eye poke, the way Ciryl was looking, the way the fight was going?
I think a lot of people wrote off Ciryl Gane, and I was one of them. Not gonna lie, his last performance against John Jones wasn't that great. You know, John Jones was able to get him down, got him with that guillotine, very easy to defend guillotine. But obviously, this fight for Gane, when he was getting ready to go against Tom Aspinall, he brought in some wrestlers, even though Tom Aspinall isn't known for his wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, so he did defend that takedown from Tom Aspinall, and I was really impressed because, like you said, he was being loose and he kept it simple. He was just popping that jab, always turning. Tom is great at blitzing, right? And the one thing Tom does that gets him in trouble is the way he moves his head back, right? And he's always trying to get to his opponents by not rushing, but like blitzing across the void, get the combination. And Gane was doing a good job of turning, always forcing Tom to turn. And Tom could not find Ciryl Gane like he has his other opponents. The one thing that Tom does very well that works in his other opponents is his other opponents don't move, right? And it's almost like Terrence Crawford fighting Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez does well against people who stand there and take the beating. But once he fights somebody who moves, he has a hard time being that bruiser who's able to like bop, 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 right? He moves, he's moving. I got to go find him. Oh, boom, he's always moving. That's kind of as with Tom Aspinall, because Tom is very good about throwing a high kick. The person X blocks it, and Tom is so fast getting his foot down that he's able to throw a 1-2, a 1-2-3. But Ciryl Gane wasn't there. He would block the head kick, and then once Tom would get down, he'll throw that one strike, and that one strike might land, and the right hand is going to be coming, but Gane's already moving, so it doesn't land flush as it usually does when he fights people. You watch the other fights, his highlights, where he'll knee the body, boom, pop, pop, and hit the person immediately super fast. But Gane wasn't there. He could not find Gane. Now, people got to realize, you're never going to get rid of eye pokes in mixed martial arts because we have our hands exposed. We need our hands exposed. Why? When I parry a jab, you don't parry a jab like this. You parry a jab like this. Baseball catch or parry across like this. My hands are open, not like this. When my hands are like this closed, I am tense. My hand is tense. That's why when I fight, if you watch my fights, I'm like this. I'm moving like this. I could be faster this way than like this. It's just the instincts of the physicality of like fighting. When you learn how to kick, they say open your hands. It's called hand exchange. I'm hand exchange because I want to block my opponent's vision. And damn, let me tell you, Ciryl Gane did a great job blocking that vision. Okay,
you sure
I want to block his vision so he does not see the leg kick. You could do it by punching, which is not the best way, 1-2, 9, or 1-3, 10. But naturally, even when I throw my leg kicks, my hands are coming out because I spent 15 years throwing kicks this way. And that's how they teach you, is to open your hands and spread them and spread your fingers and kick your opponent. Thank you, baby. Whether it lands, your hands are on their face, but it is the proper technique to do that. And people don't realize that. When you see Muay Thai guys, you can't see because they have boxing gloves on, but their hands are open when they throw. It's just something that you can't avoid. Like, I love how everybody's like, oh man, when are we going to fix eye pokes in MMA? You're fucking never going to be able to fix it. My hands are open. They're open.
I mean, I agree that you're never going to be able to get rid of eye pokes in MMA unless you just have boxing gloves on and you cover the fingers. They're always going to happen. But I have a rebuttal for you, DJ. Okay,
go on.
And this is where things are going to get crazy here on the Mighty Guru Show, guys. So I think if people are just looking at it from like an objective thing and they see, oh, an eye poke happened. They happen. They happen. Yeah. Eye pokes happen.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, and I'm noticing this more and more in MMA, and this is where I think people have the problem with it. There seems to be fighters that go their whole career with maybe 1 or 2 eye pokes that they commit to an opponent. And then there seems to be other fighters on the roster that go and commit 1 or 2 eye pokes every single fight. And unfortunately for Ciryl Gane, or unfortunately for Tom, Ciryl Gane does seem to be one of those fighters that constantly gets people in the eyes by outstretching his fingers in their face. And I know there is like a method to it. You know, he came from a Muay Thai background, so he's going to have learned things to do as he does things. So the fingers are going to come out now and then. But it does seem to be a thing with Ciryl Gane where he's like, you keep catching people in the eyes, you can't. Please stop. It's really pissing me off now, okay? And now you've ruined the main event here, okay? But that is how it goes. Like, Gane seems to constantly catch people. Fighters that go their whole career with maybe one or two eye pokes that they commit to an opponent. And then there seems to be other fighters on the roster that go and commit one or two eye pokes every single fight. And unfortunately for Ciryl Gane, or unfortunately for Tom, Ciryl Gane does seem to be one of those fighters that constantly gets people in the eyes by outstretching his fingers in their face. And I know there is like a method to it. You know, he came from a Muay Thai background, so he's going to have learned things to do as he does things. So the fingers are going to come out now and then. But it does seem to be a thing with Ciryl Gane where he's like, you keep catching people in the eyes, you can't. Please stop. It's really pissing me off now, okay? And now you've ruined the main event here, okay? But that is how it goes. Like, Gane seems to constantly catch people in the eyes. And then when you pair that with groin shots, I mean, what was the first thing he landed on John Jones in their title fight? Bang, straight to the groin of John Jones. Then you look at, I was watching his, and I think this is where people are saying, oh, you can't defend Gane. It's not because you can't defend that moment from Gane, even though maybe you can't because he did push after the fingers made contact, which definitely didn't look good. He like almost double eye poked him. Like he was like, oh, I eye poked him, but this is not enough. I must gouge and rip his eyes from his head. And he was going for all of it. Proper evil stuff. But so maybe you could like say there's no excuse for that. But it's just he keeps having these foul moments with the eye pokes, the groin shots. And I was watching his finishing highlight reel going into this fight. And I don't know if anyone else noticed a trend amongst Gane's finishes, but they were showing the JDS finish, the Tuivasa finish, the Spivak finish, the Derek Lewis finish. And I'm thinking like, a lot of these punches going right to the back of the head, Gane. Non-stop. He's clubbing these guys over the back of the head. So I think that's where a lot of the backlash of like, Gane can't help it is coming from, is because Gane has kind of been on our watch for like, watch out for some fouls. There's going to be some eye pokes. There's going to be some groin shots. And then when he did it, it's like, see? Yeah. He's fucking done it again, you know?
I feel like he's a criminal. You guys are like, oh, he's robbed this bank. He's robbed this ATM. He's done all this. We got you on the fucking FBI watch list, my friend. Yeah. And when he does, you're like, there it is right there. He did it. I just feel that it's something that I'm not promoting it. I want to be frank, but I'm not promoting it. I'm saying promoting it. I'm not saying I'm promoting it, but I'm saying that it is part of fighting, and for an athlete to extend his hands like that to throw, it's just proper technique of throwing that's specific technique. Now, I've never eye poked somebody in my career, right? I'm grateful I have, and there's been a lot of people who've been able to use that exact same technique and not eye poked, but. You know, I just think that it's just part of the game. And here's the thing, too. I want to read off a couple quotes that I saw this morning about the same thing, because, you know, I had a lot of mixed feelings, but here we go. This is from Chael Sonnen. Tom Aspinall said, I got poked in the eye and I can't see. I can't see. You got poked in the eye and you're injured. That's a different combo. But if you got poked in the eye and can't see, generally in our sport, we fight through it. Now,
and generally that fighter fucking loses and ruins their entire career. So what's the real message there? Push on, fight through the injury, Stipe after getting eye poked by DC, and then get slept in round 1 by DC and lose your heavyweight belt and get chucked to the side. Or DC, fight on through an eye injury in round 3 or so of the trilogy with Stipe in your biggest fight, retirement fight at the time, or his retirement fight, and go on to fucking lose the fight. So what they're saying is, who cares if the guy fouled you? Fucking push on. That's what we do. We get fouled. We fucking get fucked up in the next round and lose our belt. That's just how it goes. But what was your continuation of it?
No, well, I agree with you.